Keller Williams in town, Atlanta. And today I will be talking about designs with you guys, specifically the Quarterly Zine. I'll also show you where you can find the listing presentation as well as the buyer consultation template. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys and we can get started. Okay. So the first thing we're going to want to do is log into agent.kw.com so we can get on command. We will then go into the designs applet. And whenever you're creating a new design, you want to click this green plus sign here. So today we'll mainly be talking about print. Again, it's the Quarterly Zine, so that's what we'll go to. Then next. And this will take us to the design editor portion. Or this will take us to the template, the design template portion. Sorry about that. Okay, so first I'm going to just show you where you can find the listing presentation and then the buyer consultation. So the listing presentation will just be under listings. And if you click listing presentation, you'll see that there are a few different templates available to you. For the buyer consultation, that is just found under buyer. And if you click on buyer presentation, this also has a few options for you as well. But today we're focusing on this new Quarterly Zine. So if you click the lead generation title there, and then click personally branded. So if you hover over, you can see that it says personally branded zine. You'll click this. And then we're going to choose use. And this will be done when you're choosing any designs. So you click here. And this will then take us to the design editor. So from here on the left-hand side, you can see all of the pages that are available to you in this zine. Some of these pages you can edit, some of these you can't. But the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and add all of these pages to my permanent design. And the way that you do that is you click on it, but you want to make sure to click the plus sign to add a new page. Because if you don't, you see if I just click, it changes it from page 1 to page 2, but I don't have both page 1 and page 2 available to me now. So just make sure you want to click the plus button so you can add any of the pages that you'd like to be a permanent part of your design. So I'm just going to go through and add each page. And you see, as I add each page, it shows up here under this Pages tab. Just going to continue to do that until I have all of the zine pages available to me. And it looks like I accidentally, or I did it again, I have duplicated a page. So I will go in and show you guys how you can delete one if you need to as well. So I'm going to continue to add these pages. It's taking a little bit to load. Does everybody get how we just got to this portion, the design editor portion? Everybody's familiar with that? Great. And as each page is added, you see the number of pages grows. All right. I believe it's about 16 pages total in this zine. So you should end up with 16 out of 16. I think I may have duplicated about 2 of those. So I'll probably end up with about 18 pages. All right. Okay. I think I keep doing that. All righty. Okay. So I think I have 2 more pages I need to add. And then last page. So now, like I said, I've duplicated 2. So it looks like I have 18 out of 18. So if you see that you've duplicated a page, as long as this pages tab is up, make sure to click on that. You can click on the drop down arrow of the page and remove the page that you need to delete by clicking that trash can here. And then it'll ask if I do want to delete design number 1, and I will just say yes. So now, because I didn't bring the first page in, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. So now that I've brought this page in, one of the first things I want to do is change this DBA logo into my brokerage logo. And so the easiest thing to do would be, instead of adding the image, you just want to replace the image. So if you click on your DBA logo here, it takes you directly to my assets. So as long as you have uploaded your brokerage logo and your marketing profile, it will be right here for you. So it's easier to replace the image than to add the logo, simply because you don't have to do any resizing. It will do that for you. So you just have to make sure you click on the logo first though. So you click the logo, then here you have that replace logo option, and you'll just click that. And now your brokerage logo will show up there. Another really quick tip is when you're trying to edit text, a lot of people will try to just triple, double click, which you can do. You can edit this way, but the easiest way is just to click the typewriter mode. So whatever text you're trying to edit, you make sure to click on that box. And then here you have this typewriter option. So if you click this here, a window will pop up for you and you're able to edit any of that text right here. So I'm going to go ahead and add my information. And then I would just save those changes. If I click on this title, New Beginnings, you see that a toolbar pops up for you. You have a lot of different options. You can change the text if you want to. I'm sorry, the font type if you want to. Maybe you want it to be a Brill, whatever that just said, fat face, I think. You can also just change the text box if you need to stretch it out. And you see now we have a different font type. You can also change the font size here if you need to. We did go over the typewriter already. If you need to change the opacity, you can do that as well. And then you have the option of changing the color. So let's say I just am not a fan of this gray. I want to change it to something else. You just click on this circle here and you can choose from template colors. So colors that are already in the template, or you can choose any other color you like. Or if you already know the colors, the color code number, you can type that in here as well. But I'm just going to go ahead and change this to blue. And this may be something if you want this to match your branding instead of the red, you want it to be whatever your logo colors happen to be, you can do that here. So you also have the option of replacing this main image if you'd like. So if you click on this image, it will automatically take us to images. It takes us to my assets, but we'll talk about that a little later. You do have the option of adding, which means just uploading from your computer or uploading from like a Facebook profile or page. Or you can click company, which provides you with a lot of different stock images. So if you click company here, you can choose from any of these folders. Maybe I'll choose lifestyle at home. And similar to what we did, or actually just like we did with the logo, you just want to replace the image. So that means you don't need to resize or do anything like that. And whatever image you'd like to be there will then show up. Is everyone following along with me so far? Awesome. All right. You also can edit this text right here. For example, maybe you don't want it to say winter 2021 because maybe that's not when you're sending this out. You can click on it and delete it completely if you like. So if you click on it here and you see this little arrow, you then have the option to remove by clicking the trash can, or you can do what we talked about earlier, clicking the typewriter and just changing what this says. Maybe you don't want it to say volume 1, or maybe you don't want it to say winter, but you can just edit that. Maybe we just want it to say volume 1. So then we save those changes. So you're also able to edit these titles here. And this is important if you aren't gonna use your entire, if you're not gonna use each page of the zine, because this is about a different article attached in this magazine. So for example, if you were not gonna use the home maintenance projects to tackle, you can either edit that, like change it to something else, but probably you would just wanna delete it. So you click on it, click this option, and you'll just remove. And you wanna do the same thing for the maintenance title. Just remove completely because it's not an article that you'll be sharing in your zine. Any questions about this at all? Awesome. All right, so I am going to go to another page and discuss something else. So the pages that have the articles, you cannot edit these. And the reason for that is they have been created by a design team for you. So these are essentially like photographs that can't be moved and can't be changed. Now you can change the color, but you can only change the color for some of these items here on this page. So I would recommend that you don't, just because they might not match if you start making this blue, but this is still green, things like that. But because these are essentially photographs, you see there's no way to edit or even move the boxes. The only option that you have to edit on a page like this would be, I'm gonna zoom in for you guys. Would be here, where it says, find a wide assortment of LED lights at. So anytime you see these brackets, I'll pull this up on the typewriter, that means it wants you to insert some information. So if you do have information that you want to insert here, you would simply just type it in. If you don't, you can delete this little text box if you like to. Just like I showed you earlier, you just click on it, and then you have the option to, you have the option to remove, just like you would with any other design pieces.
Nyla, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So if I delete the text box, I can't get rid of the what's above it. It says find a wide.
Find a wide, yeah. So if you click on the find a wide assortment,
The whole thing
can
can be
actually
deleted.
delete it there.
Okay.
So one thing that I don't think you have the option, oh, yep, you can delete the little paint sign as well, the little paintbrush. So click on it, you can delete that too. Awesome. All right. So I just showed you this article. I want to open up another one. And I would just suggest that you go through and click through any of these pages to see what you can customize, what you can edit. So each page, go through and check that out. So again, if you see something in here that you don't want, you can just remove that page entirely by clicking the Pages button, clicking this drop down arrow, and just clicking the trash can.
Bethany, when do these quarterly, when are they in there for the quarter?
So that is TBD. They come out, obviously it'll come out in the spring, but I cannot tell you when in the spring that will come out.
Okay.
This came out around, I believe, like the beginning of February. So I would say probably May or so, maybe sometime around that month.
Okay.
Awesome.
So will these automatically go out, or we got to come back in each time and resend them out to our folks?
Yeah, you would have to resend these out because these are mainly like a print design. So you are able to share like a link, and I will show you guys how to do that as well. But it's not like a smart plan, it's not automated. So you do have to go in and complete these and then send them out. Yeah. All right, so yes.
Hey, I apologize for coming late. I was trying to find the link, but how do we get to this easing?
Yeah, let me show you. I will open up a new window. So when you're on agent.kw.com and you go to the Designs applet, you'll then click that plus sign at the bottom. You'll choose Print, Next. And once the little design templates load for you, it's going to be found under lead generation. So you click lead generation, and then here is the personally branded zine. So this is where this can be found. So on the pages, I'm going to go back to this page here. On the pages where you can't edit any of these materials, any of this copy, you are able to add an image. So for example, if for some reason you wanted to add your headshot, you could do that. So you could click My Assets and you could just click Use Image and it would show up here. Maybe if you wanted it to go here or something like that, you could upload that there. So again, you can't really edit anything here. Oops, it's over real estate, but you can like add images if you like. So if you want, maybe that's one of the ways you want to brand it by adding your picture, you have the option of doing that. But I am going to go ahead and remove. And we are going to move on to another page. So I want to show you guys this page. It's kind of similar to like a resume, but you are able to just go in here and update this information once it loads. All right. So you can do what we did earlier and click on the typewriter and just edit this info to fit you. So let me zoom in again. It says how many years you've been in the business, how many clients you've served. If you want to keep this KW bio, you can, but you are able to edit that as well. You can click on it and then the typewriter and change out any of this information. If you're a brand new agent, you may not want to use that, but that is up to your discretion, just because it does talk a lot about how many years you've been in the business, the clients you've served, things of that nature. So you may not want to use it if you're new. Any questions about any of this information at all so far? Right, great. All right, so I am going to go back to this New Beginnings, that first page. And I'm going to show you some other cool features that you have available to you. Maybe you want to have like a text or a box surrounded by New Beginnings. You can add shapes. So in order to have this option, that means you haven't clicked on any part of this page. Once you click on the page, it will then give you this toolbar option. So make sure you've clicked off in order to have the option to add a frame or add a text box or add shape. So for this, I'm just going to choose shapes and I'll add rectangle. So let's say I wanted New Beginnings to be surrounded by a text box. All I would do is add this box here. Edit this a little bit. I then can click on it. You see how I have the fill color option here? I could simply click on it, click this button, which makes it here. I apply, and now it's a text box surrounding it's a box surrounding New Beginnings because I made it transparent. So New Listings is boxed in if that's something you're interested in doing. If you need to change the arrange it differently, you can click on the box again, and then here you can click arrange. So maybe we want to make sure it's in the middle, so it's centered. We just click here, or if we want it vertical in the middle, here, this is changing the text box. But I didn't want it there. If we wanted it at the top here, right, we can move around this box the way that we see fit. Gonna undo a few of these things. Another really cool option, gonna just delete that out the way, is you are able to color match. So if you click on this right here, and then you click on the fill color, you have the option of choosing an eyedrop and hovering over whatever color you're trying to choose, trying to pick out of this image. And then once you've selected the color that you'd like to change that New Beginnings to, you would just click on it. And now New Beginnings is matching a part of this photograph. So you can do that with your logo. If, like I said, you have particular colors, you can do that here. Any questions about this at all?
Do that one more time.
Yeah. So whatever we're trying to change the color of, you want to make sure to click on that box. You then want to click this circle. It'll show you the color palette, and you then want to go to the eyedrop. So from here, you just hover over whatever colors you're looking at. And then when you've decided the color that you like to choose, you just click. And then it will automatically change that to the color that you chose from the image. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, great. So the next thing I want to show you is on the
Bethany,
last.
do we happen to know what the red is, the color code for the red for KW?
I do not, but I can find that and I can share it with Niale so she can share it with you guys, or I may be able to find it in a second and I can share it with you in the chat box.
Okay, great.
Awesome. So from here, I want to show you another page. And in this zine, this is a page asking, or this is a page that says that you can search on the app link. So is everybody familiar with how you can find your personalized or your branded app link? Or would anyone like me to show you where you need to, or where you can find that?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So I am going to open up a new window, but still in Command. So what you do is you go into the consumer applet here. You then go to Site and App Settings. From here, you go to URLs. And I do not have the option because I'm not a licensed agent, but right under domain settings, it will say app URL settings. And you simply just want to copy and then we'll paste it, right back here where it asks for your personal link. So we would click on it. We then do the typewriter like we did earlier, and you would just paste that link right here. So I'm just going to put app.kw.com for this purpose and save those changes. But whatever your link is, it will then show up here on this page. Any questions about this design editor portion at all so far? This is pretty intuitive, so this is like very useful when you're creating design. All
Bethany,
right.
it seems like we're having to input a lot of information, kind of like we used to have to do. And I thought maybe they just haven't gotten to it yet. But is there a plan for command to have these things where we put in some of this stuff once and we don't have to constantly input that information in these boxes?
Yes, so this is actually like a great segue. I was just about to show you guys assets. So my assets have things like that, smart text, where things that you're constantly using, you can put in there and save.
Okay.
So I am going to actually go out of this. I am going to go ahead and save these changes. So from here, it's going to take you back into the design templates page, and you're going to want to click on this brand assets tab. So before I get into that, it's not when you log into command, you don't have an option of going straight to your brand assets. You have to kind of look like you're about to create a design to take you here to the design templates, and then you have access to brand assets. So if you click brand assets, you have a few different options over here to your left. So with colors and fonts, you are able to click the plus sign. You can choose, if you know your colors already, if you know the RGB, you can add that here. If you know the HSL, you can add this here as well. And if you know the hex, you can add this here. If anybody uses Canva, if you've created like your logo or anything like that in Canva, hex is what they use. And you can go into your Canva image, hover over and find what that hex is and just copy and paste it here. Or if someone created a logo for you, you can ask them what those colors are, the RGB code or any of those things. Another thing you have the option of doing, like we did earlier, is the eyedrop option as well. So let's say you have your logo pulled up, you can, and it doesn't have to be in the same window. So I'm going to pull up an image. Are you guys able to see this image on the screen too? Okay, great. So I would click here so I can add a color. I then click on the eyedrop. And I can choose colors, out of this image, any color I want. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose it from his shirt. I think I did that already, which is why it's up there. But once I click, it will then show up here. So again, it doesn't have to be in the same window. So you could have your logo pulled up and use that eyedropper if you don't know the specific colors. With fonts, if you have a particular font that you use, you are able to upload the font. If you want to search for a font on the web, you can choose that and search for your web font and just add it by toggling, and then you can just add it into your fonts. So now this will automatically show up as one of the first fonts for you to use. Again, this is trying to help you brand yourself, brand these things so you don't have to do it every time. So with logos, I mentioned earlier, your logo is already being pulled in from your marketing profile, but if you have any additional logos, you can just upload them here. You do have the option too of creating folders. Maybe you see yourself wanting to separate your brokerage logos from your personal logos, and so you can just create 2 separate folders for that. So what you mentioned earlier was the text. So here is Smart Text, where you have that option of some of this information that you may use over and over again. So these are some of the fields that are included in the marketing profile that I've completed. But if you want to add new fields, you just click Add New Field here. So if you want to add your Facebook profile, because you always want the option of that being something you're able to pull into any designs, you can do that. But maybe it's just something, you know, customized to you. Like you mentioned earlier, just something you use all the time. You can just click New Text. You can label this as whatever you want it to be labeled as. It's going to say test. And save. Let's see. And that will now show up here as one of these smart fields. So we will go back into designs and I'll show you how easy it is to pull those things in. The same goes with images. You can upload any images that you want added here. For example, this is another one of our brokerage's logos. That doesn't have to be here, but it can, but it also could have fallen under the logos tab. With elements, if you have any particular icons that you use, like the Facebook or email icon that's branded to your business specifically, you can upload that here, or any stickers, anything like that. You can also upload videos as well as files. Any question at all about brand assets, this portion of it?
Yeah, so when you say files, like if I had a PDF, you upload the whole PDF.
It would upload the PDF. I just don't know like what you could necessarily do after you uploaded the PDF. From my understanding, the videos and the files portion, you can't really do anything with it yet. At some point, you're going to be able to do something. Keller Williams plans on doing that, but right now you can't really do anything. It just gives you the option to upload those things as of now.
Okay.
All right, so I am going to go back into my designs and go back into the template that we were working on. Okay. So we didn't add anything in the photos, which is why nothing's showing up. But for example, we did add something in the text. So if we click text and then we click my assets, you see that now you can just pull in any of these things here. The only thing that I wrote was tester, and I can make this bigger if I needed to. But now I can add any of these things wherever I want them to go. You can also do the same kind of thing we did earlier with like a photo. You can replace text. So we could click on this. Let's say we just want to replace it with whatever, this line here. Instead of adding it, we can just click replace text and it'll replace whatever we just had highlighted. Does everybody understand that so far? Perfect. Awesome. Well, does anybody have any questions about any of these at all? Like anything we've done, editing the zine, how to do any of this before I just show you guys how you can download to print and download to share. Any questions?
It looks like you added page 1 later on in it. So how do you get that to the front?
So you can do show all pages, and then I could just drag and drop the order. So I made that 8, and now I'll make it 1. Ooh, 2 actually. Yeah, so you can just drag and drop to change the order. Any other questions, you guys, before I show you how to download and share, and then I'll kind of show you what it looks like?
I did have a question on the first page, the new beginnings. You have put a frame up. Can you show how to do that again?
Yeah. So with the new beginnings, to create a frame, because this frames option, those are for images. But what I did was I created a shape, or I added a shape. So I clicked shapes. I just chose this rectangle here. Then I sized it to cover new beginnings. So do that a little bit. And then you're able to make it transparent. So that's what I ended up doing. So from here, you click the little color. Let me put pages down. Sorry. Click the color again. And this button here allows this to become transparent. Then you click apply. And now this is a box around new beginnings. And so if you want to change the color of that, you would change the stroke color, I believe. So let's see if it's, now that box is blue.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions about this at all?
I'm not quite understanding the transparent part of that. What does that mean?
So the fill, it made the fill part of the box transparent. So we are able to now see the new beginnings.
I got it. Okay.
Awesome. So if you wanted to download this zine to print, you could just click the download button here. So you can also download it as a JPEG or a PNG. If you download it as a JPEG, it would download one image at a time. It won't download the entire thing. Same goes for PNG. But if you decide to get the PDF, you can download all pages or just the current page, or you can choose a particular range. If you are trying to download to print, you want to make sure it's high resolution print quality. And then you have a few other settings if you want to make sure that it has a manual bleed or automatic bleed by mirroring the edges. You have these design or publishing settings you can choose from as well.
What does that actually mean?
So the manual bleed, I think it just like it covers the entire page instead of having, that white border around it that usually PDFs have when you print. So it will bleed it to the edges, bleed the color to the edges. And the next thing I want to show you guys is how you can share this zine or any of the print materials, or you can share it directly to social media, or just copy and paste the URL. So the way you do that is you click this share button here. So if you click this design, it will only share this one image. So the image that we're currently on. And you can share it directly to Facebook, Twitter, or Pinterest. And that would mean that you are connected to these different applications within your settings of command. But if you want to see the entire project, you just click the project. And this allows you to share directly to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or you can just copy. And then you can share this link with anyone. You can post the link to your social media if you want it. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. So obviously this isn't complete. I didn't do the entire thing. But if you were to share this link and they were to click on it, they will be able to just page through this zine and see those pages. So again, you would have to share it as a link if you're not trying to print it and actually physically hand it to somebody. But this is easy. Maybe you want to just send out an email blast saying, check out my new zine or check out my zine for the quarter or whatever. And they would click on this link and this is what would show up for them. But do you guys have any questions at all about this portion of designs? This is pretty much how you would edit any of your designs, even if it was social or anything else. That design editor is the same, so it won't change. But if we don't have any questions, this is actually my class for the day.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. So I will stop sharing my screen.
Thanks, Bethany.
You're welcome. I will also just add my email to the chat. If you guys have any questions about this at all, you could just let me know.
Did you say you were going to check with somebody on the color codes for KW?
Yes, I will. Give me just a second. I might be able to find that for you now.
Thank you, Bethany. That was very informative and helpful.
You're welcome. I'm glad to hear that. I think this is a very cool feature, like to be able to send out that zine. So I think that's really cool. All right. Give me 1 second before I end to see if I can find the color code for you guys for the KW red. So 1 sec.
I guess next week I'll show you how to put that link in the smart plan.
Nice. I like the sound of that. I'm looking forward to your class. I think I may have found it, guys, so just bear with me. I did. Okay. All right, so this is the color KW red. I'm sharing this with you guys now. So all the different ways. So Pantone 200, this is the RGB and also that hex that I was talking about earlier as well. All right, once you guys have all that information, just let me know and I will go ahead and end the class. Thank you guys so much for coming.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye. Have you gotten that information, Gary?
1 second.
Okay.
All set. Thank you.
You're welcome. You guys have a great one. Bye. Thanks, Niale. Bye.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, you do the same. Bye.
All right. Bye.